Hello, my name is Alia Duncan. I am in Group 1. Today I'll be discussing my risk management project in regards to identifying risk, and also responding to the risk. The company that I will be discussing is T-Mobile. I will be acknowledging some of the risks that they have faced and some of the options that they chose in order to help reduce or eliminate those risks. So going on, there is a system that a lot of companies like to use in regards to trying to figure out their level of risk and the steps they may need to take in order to help reduce or eliminate those risks. And it is called the ERM system, also known as the Enterprise Risk Management System. It's a good system a lot of companies tend to use, and from what I have gathered, it works very well in regards to what level of risk that they are on and what steps they need to take in order to understand or get rid of those risks just in case they are experiencing some risk. There are a few risks and a few responses that companies face and choose. The risks that some companies may face, it can be a financial risk, a strategic risk, technology risk, operational risk, legal/regulatory risk, and compliance risk. And some of the responses a company may face or a company may choose to use in order to handle their risk, they can either accept it, avoid it, mitigate it, or exploit it. So, with T-Mobile, one of the first risks that they faced was a strategic risk, and with the strategic risk, it involves increasing its customer care, but it will cost the company extra funds to do so. So, a quick overview on that: the CEO understood that their customer care needed a little bit of work. So, what he did was create a plan in order to try to help increase his numbers. When it comes down to its customer care. But what he realized was when implementing this plan, it will cost the company a lot more funds. Over time, he did realize that regardless of the funds and how much it may cost, that this plan will actually work in a very positive way. It shows that if they implement this action, their churn will reduce 8%, putting them on the same scale as AT&T and Verizon. With 400,000 fewer subscriber losses, thus making the risk worth accepting. So with this strategic risk, T-Mobile decided to accept it because at the end of the day, it was worth going through. The second risk that T-Mobile has experienced was a technology slash IT risk. There was an attack on T-Mobile software that put a lot of people's information out to the public, or to a group that decided that they wanted to potentially sell this information, and this information consists of people's credit card numbers, identification numbers, and things of that nature. So this affected about 3% of T-Mobile subscribers. So what T-Mobile's response was to avoid this risk. And when you avoid a risk, you are basically creating a plan in order to avoid the occurrence of the risk. So they are trying to find steps in order to eliminate this risk completely, not reduce it, just eliminate it completely. So the company decided to create a plan, and they had a security team, and the security team immediately shut down the entire software and formed all of its 2.3 million subscribers. They monitored each individual profile for fraud and fraud activity, and then had each customer create a pin to their account to help reduce or eliminate people breaking into people's accounts online, if you had to go online to pay bills and things of that nature. So what T-Mobile decided to do with this risk was completely avoid it. Another risk that T-Mobile acknowledged was operational risk. And as stated earlier, T-Mobile suffered with customer service issues. And then another customer service issue hopped up. And once T-Mobile decided to outsource their customer care department, it caused a lot of problems in their customer care system. A lot of customers complained that it was basically a language barrier over the phones. It was extremely hard for them to understand each other back and forth. A lot of the customer care representative didn't understand any questions, or they couldn't answer any questions. So it was a lack of knowledge kind of thing. And so in response to this issue, T-Mobile decided to mitigate the risk. I hope I'm saying that word right. Excuse me. And when doing that, when choosing to respond to this risk in that way, a company is taking the steps to reduce occurrence of this risk. So this is a risk that they feel will not be eliminated, but it can definitely be reduced. And by that, in this case, T-Mobile decided to improve staff morale. T-Mobile also experienced a talent risk, and this is also a branch within operational risk, whereas customers were unaware of further opportunities within the company, and their T-Mobile's response was to exploit this risk and educate their customers about opportunities within the company and in their contracts. Oh, that is another response that you can, oh, I said exploit. Okay, it's already on there. So, their response was to exploit this risk and educate their customers about opportunities within their company and in their contracts. So they renegotiated a lot of contracts. They educated, like I said, a lot of their employees to let them know what opportunities they can take, and things of that nature. And then also, one of the last risks T-Mobile experienced was a legal/regulatory risk. T-Mobile and Sprint are at risk of a merger fail. They're trying to create a contract and merge together, do business together. And despite the risk, Sprint decided to create a 4-year term. That would eliminate the amount of risk that could be accumulated. In this case, the companies decided to exploit the risk. So with the other two possible risks, financial and compliance risk, T-Mobile shows no sign of experience. With their continuous debt decrease, T-Mobile has good ROA and ROE, and their number of critical policies, T-Mobile reduces the chance of experiencing those risks. So from the numbers that have been calculated and research, T-Mobile is far from showing a financial or a compliance risk.